Intro 00 to 100. The moment of realization. Visual cue. Aerial shot of New York City at sunrise. Empty streets, no cars moving, no people walking. Narrator. Calm, reflective tone. At first, it feels like a dream. A strange morning where the world seems quieter than usual. But the silence doesn't fade. It deepens. Visual cue. Wide shot of Times Square. Massive digital billboards flickering over completely empty streets. The streets of New York, once alive with millions of footsteps, now echo with nothing but the wind. No taxis, no voices, no rush of human life, just stillness. Visual cue. Cut to London. A slow cinematic shot of the empty Westminster Bridge and Big Ben under grey skies. Across the ocean, London stands the same. A city that once pulsed with history and movement, now frozen in time. No crowds near Big Ben, no footsteps along the Thames. Only silence. Visual cue. A lone figure standing in the middle of a massive empty avenue. And somewhere in this quiet world, one human being realizes something impossible. They are alone, not in a room, not in a city, but on the entire planet. Part 1. 1 o'clock to 2:30. Nature reclaims the world. Visual cue. Grass growing through cracks in asphalt. Ivy climbing abandoned buildings. Without humanity, the planet begins to change, slowly at first. Then, with unstoppable patience, concrete cracks, roads crumble, glass towers become homes for vines and birds. Visual cue. Deer walking through an empty urban street. Birds nesting on traffic lights. Animals begin returning to places they once feared. Deer wander through silent intersections. Foxes roam the avenues of forgotten neighborhoods. Birdsong replaces the sound of engines. The city becomes a forest again. Visual cue. Electrical grid stations shutting down. City lights flickering out. But the most dramatic change arrives quietly. The power fades. Power plants shut down one by one, unattended. Electrical grids collapse. Entire continents fall into darkness. Visual cue. Night sky above a dark city skyline. The Milky Way visible. And for the first time in generations, the stars return. Without city lights to hide them, the night sky explodes into brilliance. A universe once hidden above human civilization finally reveals itself again, as if the cosmos had been waiting for the noise to stop. Part 2, 2:30 to 4. The psychological struggle. Visual cue. The last human walking through a massive, empty mansion. Survival is no longer the greatest challenge. Food is everywhere. Shelter is everywhere. But something far more fragile begins to break. The human mind. Visual cue. A person walking through a vast, silent museum hall. The last human becomes a wanderer of history, exploring mansions where families once laughed, walking through museums filled with humanity's greatest achievements, paintings, sculptures, artifacts from thousands of years of civilization. Visual cue. Close-up of old photographs left behind in abandoned homes. Every object tells a story. Every photograph holds a life that once mattered, but there is no one left to remember them, except one person. Visual cue. The lone figure sitting in a massive library surrounded by books. The last human becomes the final guardian of everything humanity ever created. Our knowledge, our art, our triumphs, our mistakes, all preserved inside one fragile mind. And when that mind is gone, the story of humanity may disappear with it. Conclusion 4 to 5. Humanity's final message. Visual cue. The last human recording, a message into an old camera or radio transmitter. Eventually, the silence forces a question. If no one on Earth remains, who was all of this for? Visual cue. Slow montage of iconic human achievements. Rockets launching, cities glowing at night, children laughing. For thousands of years, humanity reached beyond survival. We built cities, created music, painted stories on canvas, and looked up at the stars, wondering if someone out there might hear us. Visual cue, satellite orbiting Earth in space. Perhaps one day, somewhere in the distant universe, another intelligence will find what remains of our world. Our satellites, our messages, our ruins. Visual cue, the last human standing on a mountain watching the sunrise. And if they do, what will they learn about us? That we were builders, dreamers, explorers, a species that searched endlessly for meaning in the vast darkness of the cosmos. Visual cue, fade to Earth from space, slowly rotating in silence. And in the end, even if the last human voice fades into silence, the universe will still carry a quiet truth. Once, on a small blue planet, there lived a species called humanity. And for a brief moment in cosmic time, we were here.